period. 2020, August 24th, 12:48 p.m. There's aspects of Israel that are Egypt and aspects of Israel that are Rome, literally. So you have, Shin being a symbol, an early symbol, hand gesture of Christianity, comma, Shin being the moment, the mezuzah, Shin being the basic architectural structure of the Khufu pyramid, Shin being built into the causeways in about 6 to 7 different ways, period. Period. There's all kinds of stuff going on all over the place, period. Now, in addition to all that stuff and all the previous evidence that I'm not thinking about right now that goes into here, this trial comma this trial brings into aspects of the similarities between the Romulus and Remus trial and the trial of Jesus, where the Senate, the head of the Senate, his power was threatened by the traitor. How do we know that Jesus was a traitor? INRX. The R stands for Rex, which means that he was a leader of his people and an enemy of the state of Rome. And therefore, enemies of the state of Rome needed to be brought to the traitor's post so they could be tried in the forum and then found either innocent or guilty, which in this case it was an obvious answer he was going to be guilty because of his ministry of monotheistic ministry and the Aten stuff and the accusations that Jesus was a Satan worshiper, that definitions and such get really, really complicated real quick, period. But sufficient to say the trial was just Romulus's trial was just as much of a Mickey Mouse court as Jesus's trial, period. Just because the majority of the facts regarding where it took place, all the facts regarding where it took place, are fiction, does not mean that the trial itself was also not Mickey Mouse, period. The functionality and structure of sentencing Jesus to be executed also brings up an entire other sequence of information, period. That other sequence of information is that he would not, like most traders who were not Jews at Trader's Post, the belly button of Rome, most of the rest of the traders who were executed would be executed right there on the spot. They would be tied. They would be either in a wagon or something like that effect. They would be tied to a post with a strap around their neck, and when they were convicted of being traitors of the empire, a soldier or somebody would stand behind them and perform the coup de grace right then and there. The only other person, period, new line, the only other person who was not executed at Trader's Post other than period. That's an interesting false situation, period. The other person who was not of note, who was not executed at Trader's Post, but this evidence she actually was brought to Trader's Post, and she was the crowd said no, let her go, was the 12 to 13-year-old sister or half sister of Cleopatra, period, around the time of the Battle of Actium, or a little bit before the Battle of Actium, period. Cleopatra's littlest sister was a toddler when the majority of the events that Cleopatra did against the Roman Senate, not the Roman Empire, the Roman Senate, because she was empress, at least co-emperor with with Augustus, co-emperor, with her husband Caesar, it's difficult to determine.